Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanne. I'm a law student from Melbourne, Australia. I hope you're doing well. I'm just experimenting with some new backgrounds at the moment, so we'll see how we go. So I hope you're doing well. I've had a busy day today. My daughter's still moving house, and today we were packing up all the all of that last minute stuff ready for a clean on Monday. She's got still a little bit more to do, but I was able to do and help with some of that. So that was good. I'm a little bit weary, as you do. I've seen some very interesting comments on the presidential debate today. Again, very, very interesting. And I noticed that there has been no video posted by Katie Joy today. I was just checking her channel. I wonder what's been going on, whether some things have been happening with her lawyer today or lawsuit stuff. Hello, Vidandra. I hope you liked the plan with me. I've got the other one to do as well, the other setup to do as well. Cool. I love the plan with me of half an hour. Yeah, I know, it was a long one. It's amazing what happens when I don't have to do other stuff. And I don't have to work a day job, hey? Yes, I've got the other one to do, which is I've got this one to do. Oops, I've disappeared. Yeah, but I've just got blue ones in here. It's now in its cover. But yeah, I've got to do that one. I'm doing all right. I'm a bit tired. So I've been helping my daughter move the final stuff of her house. You know, it's all that junky stuff. It's either going to be binned or it's going to be packed up somewhere. It's all the little stuff. You know, that's the worst stuff, I think, anyway. So, yeah, so there's been no video posted today, so I don't know what's going on, but she has put everybody on notice. So she's also gone after Ryan Anderson. And I haven't seen, that series hasn't hit Australia yet, but there have been people that were saying that they actually feel sympathy for Ryan because of, you know, that Gypsy and her stepmother's not coming out very well. And you know, they're feeling sympathy for him. But what I find really interesting is that she's gone on the attack and she's gone after him. And that's what I find to be quite baffling at the moment. Is the fact that she's still going after Ryan. Is her judgment so clouded by the fact she's friends with people that she actually can't see the problematics, the issues that the people have? Because it's clear that there was a relation. I mean, look, you don't have to be Einstein to say, obviously, Gypsy had to been talking to Ken behind Ryan's back. I mean, that to me is, adultery. She has made a circus out of her life, but she's accused Ryan Anderson of wanting clout. But, you know, it's just, here we go. Here's what she posted today about Ryan. Here's what she said. I mean, at least, well, I haven't seen what her stories are, but I haven't seen maybe she's going after Ryan now and she's going to leave 7M alone. But it says, Ryan Anderson, you don't have fans. Go away. You married for clout. You tried to control her every move. You tried to separate her from her family and have the audacity to play the victim. She left because of you. You wanted her to stay at home all day long, even if you weren't there. You got jealous of her relationship with her dad. No one broke up that messy No, her stepmom knew you were bad news and saw through you BS. No one broke up your marriage but you. So, and of course, everyone's agreeing with her. But interestingly, she was still talking to her ex-boyfriend. So I just don't understand.
Got a couple random thoughts. I did my first live today, and it was cool. I enjoyed that. But that being said, guys, it's very difficult for me to stay respectful. Okay, I'm getting to the point where I'm about to not be respectful. Okay. Yes, I did text Gypsy during her live with Ken tonight. But Ken, don't let her fool you. She called me last Saturday talking about she missed me, and of course I miss you. And she said a lot of other things too. But I'm not going to go there because I want to be respectful. And it's funny. She doesn't text me back to be respectful to her boyfriend, Ken, but she had no respect for her husband, Ryan. And it's funny, Ken sitting there, you do you. You believe that? You really believe that she's being respectful? Okay. I got receipts too, babe. So we can go there. And plus, yeah, we'll let the...
Someone says, I want to be respectful, persists to be messy. Then Katie says, that's Ryan. He's a narcissist. Is there anybody that is not a narcissist? We all know he was bad idea, but love is blind. And she said she tried so hard. And someone says, I can tell from the show she tried hard. So has anyone seen the show? I've heard different perspectives. I've heard that she was the one that was messy. As I said, if she was still keeping in touch with an ex-boyfriend, I find that to be a bit of a problematic thing. So apparently she tried really hard. Why do I feel like he's not what he appears to be? She says he's a narcissist. That's her answer to everything. I bet she was calling him. They're both messy and full of drama. If she would have just left him and been single, it would have been different. But she left him and went to another guy right away. So, of course, she's going to get bagged on. She's hopping from one to the next, and she should probably just hop right to counselling. That's true. You, KJ, said Gypsy is breaking the law by hiding money in a trust. You said she was going against her PO by being on SM. You said she's not going to therapy. Now she's your girl again. Hello, short order. She's not going to last with Ken either. And then someone says, oh, he's messy. And then she says, he's so gross. She's so much better with him gone. Apparently. So, yes. So she's told him that he married her for clout. And that it's his fault that she left him. But as I said, I think the person that said that she left him for another guy, I think that spoke volumes. So let's have a look here we go. Update. There is an active investigation by multiple agencies related to threats that I've received in the past 2 weeks. The situation has not resolved, but we have a pretty good idea of who is sending the threats. They are posing as multiple people and sending threats to both sides to create chaos, because this person wants to create division and desperately wants to be named publicly. I will not share their name. Again, I will never use the email tips it without a crystal ball to send emails to anyone. The emails being sent to both sides are causing confusion. This person is angry at multiple people, not just me. And this is their payback. They also are obsessed with the 7M story and inserting themselves into the legal cases. Right now, it is unknown if 7M is behind the threats or if the person is pretending to be sending the threats on their behalf. That's what law enforcement must determine. But, Katie, your lawyer wrote in a document that it was it wasn't certain if you were behind the threats. So why is 7M looking? Why are the law enforcement looking into 7M? If they're sending the threats, I mean, it's on a court file. It's in a court file that a judge has been told that you could be behind the threats. I mean, I'm looking forward to the next court date because that's going to be great. I can't wait to hear her lawyer have to answer that one. I just checked, and there's no update in the court. I know who it is, but we don't know yet exactly. We know who it is, but we don't know who it is. Yeah.
And got a couple random thoughts. I did my first live today, and it was cool. I enjoyed that. But that being said, guys, it's very difficult for me.
Leave my girl. All right. Then she says, "This is my final straw. Leave my husband alone. Do not email him your trash threats, apologies, and fake confessions. We know who you are, and we are going to file a restraining order against you. I'm absolutely done. Every single email you send is directly forwarded to 2 law enforcement agencies. Leave us alone. Your false reports and threats are actually federal crimes." So now she's saying she knows who it is again. I don't know who's going after Katie's roommate. Hello, BG and BJD. See, and she has not posted a video today. So she's obviously been up to something. Either she's had meetings with lawyers or something. Because I just went looking because she didn't post a lot. In fact, she's not talked about 7M today, other than the fact she's saying it could be them. That was her post. So yesterday she's been using a green screen, by the way. That was a green screen. Because, I guess she's trying to copy those of us that use green screens and backgrounds. But it makes it look like that she's in somewhere nice. Look, have a look at that. It takes us away from the funeral parlor walls, hey? But yeah, there's been nothing. It's been a quiet day. Maybe her lawyers have told her she can't talk about 7M. I don't know. But as I said, I did check the court documents. I did do a search, and there was nothing there. But I will show you because we're transparent on here. So where are we? She says they know who. Well, I mean, do they know? Does she really know who it is, or is she trying to pull it? Is she trying to bring the person out to reveal who they are? I don't know. So here we go. So we've got here, and there's no date here, as you can see. So there's nothing since the correspondence on the 17th, which is the correspondence that says we're not sure if our client is behind it or not. So if we go down here, we've got, see, the 11th was the 4th. There was a scheduling conference held on the record. So I mean, let's just, for prosperity's sake, we need to look at it again because we need to, like she's saying, the law enforcement are checking to make sure it was the one after asking for 60 days extension, I think, yeah. So this was the letter on the 17th of June submitted by Jennifer Moore, which is Katie's lawyer. And she says here, we do believe that these events are related to this case, but do not know, if whether there is evidence linking defendants to these events. So why is she saying law enforcement are checking into 7M? They should be checking into her own lawyer. This is on file. This is on the court file. I mean, I don't know what you would. I mean, if I was Robert Shin's lawyer, I'd be laughing my head off at this, because I think she's forgotten who's the plaintiff and who's the defendant. Because it says, so I'll read the whole letter. It says, on 4 a.m. Sunday morning, June 16, police came to my client's home and said that they had received a tip from an anonymous caller who stated that a man was holding Miss Paulson and her son hostage. I still question why they would say Miss Paulson and her son and not her husband. Like, where's Toad? Why isn't Toad mentioned in this? Why does she always talk about her and her son and not her son and her husband? You know? Unless they're saying that it was Toad holding Katie. Maybe she forgot because KJ has more than one lawsuit pending and her lawyer got mixed up. That is correct. Maybe she did. But if we go by what Katie does and goes and say this is on court files, what we're saying is that her lawyers are admitting that she's behind it. Are saying she could be behind it all. Because, you know, court, whatever's filed in court is factual, according to Katie Joy. When in fact it's only really judges' decisions that you can really use. Anyway, later that day, I received 2 draft child protection notices that was ostensibly filed by a Graham, who was identified as an attorney with Truant Law, using my email address, saying that Miss Paulson had threatened her son. Now, interestingly, that she didn't say that. One of the things she didn't put into this letter is that one of the partners' name is Graham, because it's Truman Martin Law. So one of the partners, she hasn't said that the alleged person that they've said that was, anyway, using my email address, stating that Miss Paulson had threatened her son. These followed communications to our firm that were, she repeated herself, that were ostensibly from Miss Paulson, but were sent using incorrect email addresses seeking advice on matters related to this case. Emails were also sent from suspicious addresses to Miss Stavag and others. Miss Paulson is working with law enforcement to address these concerns. However, we wanted to advise the court that this occurred in the event that your office has received or will receive any communication that match this pattern. We do believe that these events are related to this case, but do not know whether there is evidence linking defendants to these events. We may ask the court's assistance in the near future if the investigation warrants it. For now, we just ask the court be suspicious of information received outside the regular e-file and e-serve platform. Please contact me if you have any questions. So let me just highlight that sentence again. We do believe these events are linked to the case, but do not know whether there is evidence linking defendants to this case. So let's just go here in case we've forgotten. Defendant, Catherine Paulson. Catherine Mansky, defendant without a crystal ball. Her own lawyer has said they do not know if the defendants are involved or not, are behind it. Her own lawyer. It's on the court file. It's on court file. It's there. It's there as part of the documentation they're going to want the judge to consider at some point in time. I don't imagine that you're a judge and you've had this letter put across your desk and you're going to have to make a decision at some point in time about whether there's defamation or not, and you're going to go through the whole court file to read everything that's been submitted into the court. Just think about it for a minute. What on earth would you think if you see that someone's lawyer is saying that their own client might actually be behind things that are trying to disrupt the case? And then you've got Katie Joy that's saying, well, no, it's 7M, it's 7M. But her own lawyer, who is an officer of the court and whose word is taken as being, I was going to say gospel, not gospel, but, they're not supposed to mislead the court is one thing that differs between the time she was doing this in Tuddy's case is the advancement of tracing emails. Maybe they're doing their own investigation, or maybe they've discovered that it is her. So I just find it bizarre that her own lawyers have sort of said, well, actually, she's probably doing this herself. So I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. It's all beyond my level of comprehension, above my pay grade. But I'm just wondering, I mean, how many times has she said she's known who's been behind these emails? And how many times has she been wrong? How many times has she thrown innocent people under the bus? And how come every time she's in trouble, she has the same things happen to her? What happens if they find Kate? Well, then hopefully she gets charged, Jules. She keeps saying law enforcement's going to put the full weight of the law. Maybe there's something as to KJ's involvement in documents that aren't public but are accessible to her lawyers. Are these the same lawyers for all her? They're her Minnesota lawyers, and they're only the lawyers for the 7M case. But remember, there are some documents that she's filed under seal that's not been made public, and I don't know why she expects 7M's documentation to be public when she hasn't allowed hers to be public. I mean, that always makes it suspicious as well, in my opinion. And we're probably not going to see the discovery or anything like that type of stuff either. So I mean, if let's just say that she did make a mistake. That's a very silly mistake to make. And you would have to question a lawyer's professional. A lawyer's privy to the lawyers have access to all the documents. Both sides of the lawyers have access to all the documents, but not the lawyers can take notes, but they can't take copies or share. They're restricted by what they can share with their clients under the protective order, from what I can remember. But I'm going back to my memory. So they can take notes and they can say, yes, for example, let's just say the lawyer saw the marriage certificate of James and B-Dash, for example. Miranda and James. They can say, we've seen the marriage certificate, they're legally married. They can say that, but they can't tell you anything else. Or, yes, we've seen this, or yes, we've seen that. Yes, we've seen the financial records of 7M. No, they don't. They're all above board, and all the dancers were paid, or all the dancers were paid. They're restricted by what they can say to their clients. It's only really to help them to answer those questions. But at some point in time, it may come out, particularly at trial. Cases of issued discovery and interrogatories by the time court ordered, it will be subject to sanctions. Yes, it will be. Now, what was the date of that? Because we looked at that. Oh, no, that's the notice of filing of an order, because we had those dates. Notice of hearing, scheduling order. Yeah, here we go. They were very generous dates, if I remember it. Like, it was very generous. The dates were very generous. There's no reason why they shouldn't be complied to. Okay, so let's have a look. Because I think we've got, in fact, this month is, I know why she's going on about settlement. I know. No, they've got till December. So, depositions shall be conducted by July 26, 2024. So, July 26 is when depositions need to be finished. Now, they've got until December 31 for alternative dispute resolution. This is why she's saying she's not going to settle, because, and then deadline for non-deposition motions shall be filed no later than August 23, and dispositive motions shall be served at the end and filed no longer than September 23, 2024. So July 26 is the deadline for depositions. Maybe she was doing a deposition today. That's why she's been a bit quiet. I don't know. But they should be doing depositions at the moment. So and they have to attempt or at least have, see, upon motion or by any party or by its own initiative, the court may at any time issue an order for alternative dispute resolution. So the court may decide that they're going to have to discuss settlement. But that's until, so they may have to do mediation. But that expires on December 31. At either time, either party can request it, but the court may end it. Now, in Australia, as part of the process, you actually have to attend some type of mediation. So in Australia, you have to have mediation and attempt to try and resolve it without and with a court-appointed mediator. And then if it doesn't go, if it doesn't work out, then the mediator alerts the court that mediation didn't work and that it would progress. And let me just show you something like that on here. So let's go to the Bruce Lemon case. Because I'm sure that was appeal, or she'll probably appeal. I mean, that's all she's got to do, really. Unless they tried mediation, quite often they'll say we've attempted a mediation and it hasn't worked. I don't think this one had mediation. No. court events. And I thought also Channel 10 and I mean, that happened a lot in the Bruce Lerman case too, where the judges said, I want you to go away and I'll give you 2 hours to try and resolve this. In 2 hours, let me know what you've come up with and we'll and I'll intervene if I have to, type thing. That's what he usually says. Well, it says that yes, either only except if it's court ordered. If the court orders it, they have to attempt it. But there's nothing to say that they have to do it. But it's been offered as an alternate resolution. And as lawyers, you have the responsibility of trying to keep costs down. And so part of keeping the costs down is, in fact, trying to mediate. Just see if I can find one where it says it. So sometimes they are ordered, sometimes the court orders them to mediate. I know it happened in the case in WA with Senator, what's her name, and Brittany Higgins. The courts ordered them several times to go to mediation. No, I was wondering if they were using Joe's email. No, I didn't see that. Oh, Jay. Did they use my email or her email? I know they sent me a whole pile of emails. Has there been some new ones, has there? Wouldn't surprise me. Yes. So yes, they could put liens on the house. I mean, they could do everything. So for the Australia case, Bruce Lerman has to pay $2 million. And so what will happen is that they will now they will bankrupt him. So they'll go to the court. Here we go. So this is what I'm talking about. So this is a case that happened in federal court. This is Alex Greenwich versus Mark William Latham, 2 politicians. And we've got here assisted dispute resolution filed by he filed it. It was closed. Mediation, and it says finalized, not resolved. Oh yes, your email and someone said, yes, I knew that. Yes, because I sent those emails to her. I shared them last night on here. So yeah, so what happens? Assisted dispute resolution, and they use my email address. Oh, really? I'll have to check out Nikki's video then. Because I will have to have a look at that. Oh dear. Do you have a natural stone business? It was probably if it was Joe's Pearls and Gems. Yeah, that and interestingly enough, that email address has not been active for ages, actually. Believe it or not. So, which I find to be really, really bizarre. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, that email doesn't work. Sure, Order Cook can attest to that because it bounces back, which I find to be very interesting. That email doesn't work for me. It doesn't even work for me. So someone's got it to work. Yeah. What one was that? What video is that one? I'm just here now. There was one 7 days ago, 3 days. Oh, where is it? I don't mind. I don't mind playing her videos. That's fine. Miranda and James. Are these emails 1 day ago? I watched that one. Is it 7M? Miranda and James need to call the police. Keep poking the bear. Was there another one? 6 days ago, 11 days ago, 13 days ago, 2 weeks ago. Right. I know there was one right at the end, I think, of one of mine right at the end. Then the one before. Okay. I don't think I was in the one before, was I? Because I did watch some of them. Yeah, let me know what it is, and I'll But I shared the emails that I got because I actually let her know that I got them. So I got some emails that were pretending to be her yesterday. It was really bizarre. Okay. So what have we got here? Videos. Or is it a short? I don't know. That's all right. Yeah, so anyway, that's how dispute resolution generally works. So they will often attempt mediation. I mean, if the court orders it, you have to go. And yeah. Yeah, so I can attest that email, I mean, short order can tell you that email doesn't work because she's meant to send me something, and it bounced. So there you go. Now, here's a question for you. I believe they had the debate today, and I've been seeing. I mean, yes, I did see that. I did say because she said I don't know if I've got permission to share, and I did comment that she could share the emails if she wanted to. And I wondered whether. Well, exactly, short order, and I'm wondering whether they don't realise that Nikki's Canadian and I'm in Australia, or whether they do. I'm happy to show them again. I noticed that Dom Lemon was not very happy with Biden today, and I wondered whether that set Katie Joy all in a tiz because there was an issue with well, I was hearing that they're looking at replacing Biden. And then who are they going to replace Biden with? Actually, I have to say, it's one of the few times I'm thinking our politicians may not be so bad. One of the few times. Maybe one of the few. So I'm interested in what all of you that live in the US thought of it. Was it as bizarre as what we thought it was? The debate was a disgrace in my books. It is elderly abuse. See, I've heard that thrown around a lot today. I actually saw a clip of Jill Biden that Jill Biden actually was speaking to the president like he was a child. Oh, you answered all the questions correctly. I saw that clip and I thought, what is he? Short order says, I watched the debate and thought Biden is more honest and understandable than KJ. Really, short order? I didn't watch it, but I've been seeing all the comments after. I'll be damned if they replace him with Kamala, says Amanda. Well, I mean, that's what they're saying. But then I've heard Michelle Obama's name come up and Hillary's name come up. Yes, it was actually said he should never have been there. I mean, there's allegations that they've drugged him, and there's all sorts of things going around. I mean, surely, is there nobody that can actually do the job? It will be Newsom. Okay, all right, I'll have a look. Hillary. But is Hillary likely to win? Wow, there was that, and then I heard someone say that it was really Obama's third term because he's really been doing it by stealth. So I don't know, but I'm still all over the fact that I'm still trying to get over the fact that, and I don't know. He had to be walked off stage and telling him he's like a 4-year-old because they're having severe cognitive decline, drugging him. Someone should be reporting that he needs medical care with 20%. Oh yeah, that shocked me. But as I said, I was really shocked though that the way that she spoke to him. Actually, it was. Oh yeah, it was. Oh, and the walking off the stage. How can that guy be in charge? Be the most powerful man in the free world? And apparently he refused the drug test during the last, and apparently he was in Atlanta, and oh yes, here we go. This is it. Sky News Australia. Here you go. Look at this. I'll come back to the next. You answered every question.
Crowd, what did Trump do?
Yeah, have a listen. This shocked me. This just shocked me.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Lie! Yes.
So she's been mocked online. It was a bit like that. You got all the answers correct. Here's your cookie. Funny how they cancelled 21 fact checkers, did they? He answered every question truthfully. There you go. He knew all the facts. I would like to think he did, but there were people that were saying that he just signs whatever he's told to sign. Well, and look, I have seen some stuff out of CNN where they've said that Biden's in trouble. If CNN is actually, and we know that that's what Katie Joy watches, but if CNN is saying that, no wonder she's gone into hiding. Yeah. No, he didn't answer the questions. He misunderstood and rambled on and on at one point. was asked about Medicare, and he said, and I quote, "I beat Medicare," and he had an earpiece in. They did, because there's no hiding it now. When CNN says that, yes, I know, there's... This intro of Joe by Jill sounds like a mum congratulating her toddler for using the potty for the first time. That's what came to my mind. I mean, this is Sky News Australia, and I just picked something, and even for Sky News to be criticising Biden's a bit of a shock.
Joe Biden.
The X on Biden account was all over through the debate, and really was posted all through the debate. There's no denying it.
His age, of course, was already a talking point before the debate. It was amplified as well, not just in a cognitive sense. Plenty of discussion online about this footage of the First Lady, Jill Biden, helping her 81-year-old husband off stage. You can see pretty small steps there, but having to be helped off. He clearly needed assistance to descend those steps to greet the two CNN moderators after that. So I'm sure that'll be images played as well. Let's get more reaction. CNN reporter Julia Benbrook has been good enough to join us live. Julia.
So, it was just bizarre. I mean, is she really, the ones I used to watch and go after him, pretty good?
Thank you very much for your time. I know it's late over there. First of all, how are people, the voters, reacting to tonight's debate performance?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the reaction.
Trump saying that Biden doesn't know what he's saying.
And is like tomorrow. These two candidates came into this debate essentially.
I mean, I did hear, someone did say they were both train wrecks, except Biden was worse than Trump. So, as I said, I didn't watch it. I was out and about when it was on, and I just caught the end of it. I just caught all the comments afterwards, and I figured it wasn't great.
In nationwide polls, but we are hearing some reaction. There are some Democratic Party officials who have privately expressed concern about Biden's performance in this debate, citing some of those more shaky moments that he had. There was an interview with Vice President Kamala Harris on CNN shortly after the debate, where she said it's not about these 90 minutes. It's about the last 3.5 years and the work that their administration has done for the American people. But when she was really pressed about his performance, she admitted that he got off to a, quote, slow start.
What I will say about Trump is he does actually seem like he's a bit of a, he did do a lot of interesting things. And he did actually, he also spoke to John Jung, North Korea leader, and he also Putin, and I did hear him say he could probably end the war in Ukraine. Very quickly. Oh, that's right. Most of my videos at the moment, I actually have to ask them to manually review because they automatically put on orange. Believe it or not, most of my videos now are automatically orange, and it takes me about 48 hours to get them fully monetized again. So I'm just I'm just that bad. Apparently, I'm bad. I'm bad, you know it. I'm bad, I'm bad. Oh, here's what you were saying about we finally beat Medicare. This is what he said.
Any president 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
What?
President Biden, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question.
What on earth? What was that? What will be the worst thing is that when Joe loses and they want revenge or put him in prison, we will be life and stock of prison to have a sitting president. Well, that's right, because you've got Trump, isn't he waiting sentencing? Okay, in a heartbeat, and people get and tell me they're giving. Is that the Independent? Now I heard that he also said, oh yes, I was surprised. I mean, I don't know that I would have stood straight faced. I did hear that too, short order Cook, that he never actually went after him personally. And he couldn't. So I don't know that I would have. I think I would have been laughing right through that. Or I would have asked for a translator. You're a sucker.
Veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act. 1 million of them now have insurance and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq, living one.
Oh, is that the son that's being charged?
Next to one of those burn pits, came back with stage 4 glioblastoma. I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died.
Oh, this bit was just awkward. Okay.
I went to the World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump.
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up, just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son, Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
4-star general standing to your side who was on your staff who said you said it, period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history. And they now are their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war. That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
That was awkward. Good to watch and listen to Biden. Agent Orange to him is someone in a suit and Ray-Bans. Well, that's well, oh yeah, I'm watching some of this, but the look on Biden's face did say it all. He was really thinking hard there, wasn't he? So, and of course, there's an election happening in the UK, and that's just as interesting. That's going to be just as interesting and just as messy, because I don't think neither leader is of either party that could get in is respected, because they want the current guy out, but they don't like the other guy. So UK is going to be very interesting as well. So just politics in general at the moment is really messy. I mean, at the moment there's a big argument over nuclear power plants. So in Australia, I don't know how I feel about that. I just want food prices to. Here's the other thing. I'm going to go on a bit of a rant. We have all this gas in our country, but we've sold it off. We have Japanese. It goes to Japan. It goes to China. There's a gas refinery in owned by the Japanese in Northern Territory. All of that goes off, gets taken away, and we buy it back cheap. Like, why aren't we keeping it for ourselves? Like oil. We had oil refineries here. They've all been closed down because it was all being sent overseas to be refined and not being refined here. And we buy it back. I don't understand it. Guess where half of the uranium comes from in the world? Australia. You know? We send all of our best beef and meat and everything overseas, and we get the worst of it, and we have to pay through the nose for it. But that's just my rant. But just getting back to presidential debate, who would be qualified? We're at the size of inland. We have 30 million people with more natural resources than most, and we can't run a gas barbecue without it costing $50. Correct, short order. And gas is being in Victoria, in my state. You can't have gas connections anymore because we're running out of gas. We can't have gas connections because we need to conserve the gas so it can go overseas. So they are phasing gas out. Tell me how. So I'm pretty annoyed at that. I mean, if it was up to me, we'd be keeping all the good stuff. It'd be looking after ourselves first. That's why we lost our car manufacturer. manufacturing. I mean, hey, let's face it. That's why the port of China is. That's why the port of Darwin's owned by China. Apparently, oh, there's a huge push to go solar here too, Lulu. That is insane, Joe, isn't it? There's something so wrong with that excuse. It's a lie. Correct. It's correct. I'm really annoyed by it because we do have more natural resources than any other country, but the problem is we don't own it. A lot of the mines are owned by overseas people, but we have solar. There's big rebates for solar. They'll give you a $4,000 rebate here if you go solar. Put solar panels on your property. But what they're saying then is that there's two options you can do. You can either have the solar go back into the grid. So what they do is that they give you a discount on your bill to have your solar go into the grid, but then they're charging you to take it back out again. And so people are saying that that's a rot to electricity company because the discount that you're getting back doesn't cover the charge that you're being paid for. So, but then there's you can live off it. So, yeah, I'm not sure about the going back in the grid because if I was providing power to go back into the grid, I'd want it to go. They have tech for free energy, and the government has provide patents and much to go to. This has just been released by Donald Trump. This is apparently called Joe Biden's highlights. So you know what this is going to be.
Well, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare, we're trying to provide housing for Black Americans. The impact on the choice, the idea that they're gonna. I'm proposing that everybody the millionaires pay 1%. So no one after I've not raised the cost of Social Security for anybody. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example,
I thought it was funny that Trump laughed at the golf comment.
We have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it stopped. And I'm going to continue.
More than 1,000 trillionaires or billionaires.
Continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
What? That's Trump's he laughed at all the lies but not the confusion. Yeah. So apparently that's he called it Biden's lowlights. So yeah, more border control and more sidewalks. Is that sidewalks by the border? Sidewalks on the border? So rather than having to cross the border, rather than crossing the border, they walk along the sidewalk. More sidewalks for the border. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry, the spoofing website allows you to make a template to make it appear an email has come from a bone and phony, but hasn't. I would think, look, I think it is but a spoofing site. But who's behind it, I don't know. It's sick. More sidewalks for the border. Walk along the wall tours, yes. Oh dear. We do. We have a lot of Chinese spies in CA who walked in from Mexico. Well, there you go. Now they won't have to walk along the dirt. They'll be able to walk on pavement. Here's another question for you. Should there be an age restriction as to when somebody can become president? You know, should there be a limit? Should there be an age limit for because what's going to happen in 4 years' time? Because realistically, you could have a president die in office from old age, right? There should be a dementia clause. Has he got dementia, or is that just Oh, that's right, Sharon. Yes, that's right. Barron Trump for president. I don't think the court has ruled on that though, Sharon. But yes, she did ask. You're right. Amber did ask for a 60-day pushback, but there's been no official. There's been nothing officially from the court. But yes, I think they did sort of agree to push it back 60 days. I'd forgotten that. So thank you for that reminder. Yes, depositions are being pushed back 6 days, but yeah, they've not happened. So what should the age be? Should it be 7? Like, is 70, or do you think it should be? Well, retirement age. I mean, in Australia, retirement age has gone up to 70 now, or going to be 70 soon. So should it be 70? Should they have to finish? Should they have to leave office at 70? Or 75, 72? What, the retirement age? I'll be 100 by the time I get to retirement age. I'm never retiring at this rate. I always love it how the politicians always say we're going to we're going to increase the retirement age on this scale, but they always happen to be at the low end of it. Like they're all retiring, and like the rest of us. So, Lulu, you think that if they were cognitively fit or cognitively alert, that they could do it then at 95? Everyone is different. You can't retire shorter. No, see, I reckon I won't be able to retire either. Maybe I should run for parliament and just make all the rules to benefit me like they all do, hey? Oh dear. So yeah, I did wonder whether Biden failing and Dom Lemon criticizing Biden just threw Katie Joy over the edge today. Because we know that she loves Biden and Don Lemon. But I've not seen anybody go for it. You won't need a wig. Everyone gets a pony. Yeah, that's right. Everyone gets a pony. Yeah. You know, remember short order cook when we got the money from Rudd and we called it Ruddy money. I'll just go in there and spend the money. I don't care. I've actually not seen anybody really come out and say that Biden did any good today. Apparently, even Harris had to admit that he got off it to a shaky start. So, That's right. Everyone went to JB Hi-Fi, bought a big. You know what? I didn't. You know what? I bought mine on. You know what I put mine on? I went and bought food. I went and bought food, and I think I paid rent. I paid rent and food with mine. I was really boring. I wish now I had bought a big TV, big screen TV, but I didn't. I put it on. I put it on adult things. Ah. But it did work, sure, to cook because it did actually help. I mean, this was during the GFC, the global financial crisis, and we were the only country not to go into recession because we were given this money to spend to put back into the economy, which it did, and we didn't go into a recession. So it worked. I went and paid off all my bills and was debt free for a week. Actually, it was a good feeling to have that just for a moment, a small moment. We got stimulus checks too, yeah. And I think they also built, every school got a new building as well, so they did all this stuff. But yeah, we called it Ruddy money because Kevin Rudd was the Prime Minister at the time, and it was Ruddy money. I think ours was put into a bank account because it was assumed that, because I was on government payments at that time. Mine just came as part of the government payment. But I don't know. I think for tax returns or something, they put it into the account that was registered with the tax office, I think. So it also meant that you had to update your taxation info, and they probably got people that hadn't paid tax for a while. Oh, hold on. Oh, those were the days, short order, when, government was so. I mean, they did give us a little bit of money during the pandemic as well. But apparently, we've got tax cuts coming July 1, and apparently, our energy accounts are going to get credited as well. But funnily enough, energy bills go up as well. So it's Friday. It's Friday morning. So we'll have to see. So Katie Joy didn't post a video all day Thursday, and her Instagram was very quiet, as opposed to all the. If you look at all the manic posting she's been doing, there had to have been something going on Thursday, because she didn't do a video on YouTube, and there was only 3 stories, one of which was about Ryan Anderson. She did 1 post about Ryan Anderson, and 2 about her situation. So something's been happening in the background. I'm wondering, short order, that has crossed my mind. I guess we'll have to wait to see what happens. For us, it'll be overnight. I'll have to wake up and see what's happened, because if it's another quiet day, it might be a cease and desist. It would make sense because some of the allegations were that she's made a crazy. We're just going around. We're just like going on random topics here. So, yeah. So I'll be on for an hour 15. Yeah, I won't be on for much longer. So yeah, fiber. According to ABC Australia, bumble and bluster is what they described Biden's performance. Oh yes, I forgot about that. I will do. Just give me a minute. So I want to. This is a case that's been a bit bizarre in Australia. Greg Lynn was convicted of the murder of Carol Clay, but not guilty of murdering Russell Hill. And it's a bit of a puzzle because he was a pilot, and he was the prime suspect of murder of 2 people in Victoria. But they found him not guilty of murder. They found him guilty of one, but not guilty of the other. And this is bizarre because Carol Clay and Russell Hill went remote, but they would never emerge. So this is called the Victorian High Country. Look at it. It's absolutely beautiful. Some landmarks don't appear on maps. Mobile phone coverage is sketchy, and it's in the middle of nowhere. Look at it. The alpine tree line is high and the bushland is dense. If you want to go and disappear, our 4-wheel drives can navigate the valley's dirt roads and river crossings. It is a wild case. That's why I thought I'd share it. So yeah, it's perfect place to hide. Anyone that doesn't want to be found, or if you want to hide somebody there. So over the years, people have gone missing. But as for Russell Hill, he loved the area. So he was 74, and Miss Hill was 70. Mr. Hill sometimes went camping with his wife Robin, but also went on secret trips with his long-term mistress Carol Clay. Yes, he had a mistress. So this is Carol Clay and Russell Hill. They were on March 19, 2020. He said goodbye to his wife, packed his 4-wheel drive, and drove to Miss Clay's house in Melbourne. And then they went off to the valley. And then 2 days later, somebody was there and saw something odd. He saw the white Land Cruiser, what looked out to be a burnt-out camp. And then he went back, and then he saw burnt tent poles, charring battery, and he found food. He noticed damage to the Land Cruiser's mirror. And then a week later, police turned up, and they went looking for 2 people presumed missing. And so this is and then they found the license, they found the identification of the people, gas cylinder, they found the wallets, they didn't find them. So that was the campsite. Look at it. So, according to court documents, police received reports of unidentified people acting strangely. 2 suspects emerged but were quickly ruled out. So this is again, police records, however, phone records police had to access were far from detailed than the average monthly phone bill. Not only could they see calls, texts, and data usage, they could see the location of what the phone towers were and device they connected to. Both Mr. Hill and Miss Clay's phones connected to a phone tower in the Alpine region around lunchtime on March 19 and disappeared as they drove deeper into the valley. Look at it. 2 days later, Mr. Hill's phone reconnected to the network tower from a different section of the range at Hotham Heights. It was the last record of the phone being active. They went looking for CCTV footage and they got a traffic camera photo. And that then led them to this Gregory Stewart Lynn, and it was this guy. Actually lives out my way, a bit further away. So he was a pilot. He was interviewed about his disappointment he and other employees from Ansett. So he was from Ansett initially. In the middle of COVID lockdown, he was out of work again. So he was considered a key person of interest. But Lynn's cover-up began that night. He'd already made himself comfortable at Buck's camp when Mr. Hill and Miss Clay arrived to set up their camp. They introduced themselves. He said he was out hunting deer. Later, he said Mr. Hill was agitated and threatened to make a false report to police that Lynn had been shooting too close to the campsite, and he would take drone footage of Lynn's account. He trudged back to his patrol. As night fell, he ate his dinner near his vehicle, but continued his argument. To retaliate, Lynn said he blasted music from his car to annoy them. He tells police he was threatened with his own gun. Pilot said he crept through the shadows and tried to ambush Mr. Hill to disarm him. He said he grabbed the barrel of the gun and spun Mr. Hill around so the 74-year-old's back was pressed against the vehicle's bull bar, told him to let it go. He wouldn't, but kept on wrestling and bang. The bang was the shot guard discharging. Lynn said fired a projectile through the side mirror of the Land Cruiser into Miss Clay's head, and she was instantly killed. In some parts, yes. The hand was not on the trigger. So that's why he was cleared of not killing her. Lynn said he snatched the gun, walked off firing the remaining round. He said he put the weapon in his car. Moments later, saw Mr. Hill walking towards him with a kitchen knife. Lynn said Mr. Hill yelled he's dead before taking a swing at him. He blocked the punch, then chopped down Mr. Hill's right hand. He said the men grappled, trembled to dirt. Lynn said Lynn got up, but Mr. Hill remained on the ground with the knife in his chest. So then he burnt the bodies, and 7 months after the camper's death, that he made another journey. This time he was headed to where he'd left the bodies under a pile of stick and the ashes. They were decomposing, he told police. So days later, they captured him removing awnings from his patrol roof. Prosecutors would tell the jury the footage revealed another attempt to distance himself from the camper's death. On November 22, 2021, police swooped and arrested Lynn after concerns were raised. He was at risk of self-harm. He was captured talking to himself. So anyway, at the end of the day, on the opening day, he was given a chance to plead guilty or not guilty. He chose not guilty. For 5 weeks, he remained calm and expressionless while evidence was presented, taking handwritten notes. The pilot would occasionally wave and smile at his wife, Melanie, and his son. With no eyewitnesses, inconclusive forensic evidence, the trial boiled down to a simple question: was the jury convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that Greg Lynn murdered the campers? In total, 49 witnesses were called to the stand, including Miss Clay's daughter, Mr. Hill's daughter, and widow Robin. Miss Hill's voice quivered as she told the court how she waited by a high-frequency radio, waiting to hear her husband's voice, unaware that he'd been dead. The day's most dramatic moment came on its 18th day when Lynn himself stepped out of the dock, walked across the courtroom and into the witness box. He maintained his innocence but conceded his actions after death were Despicable. All I can say is the families, I'm very sorry for your suffering. He didn't budge during cross-examination. I haven't killed anybody. Lynn's barrister called the prosecution case hopeless, saying they'd relied on half-baked theories. Prosecution also suffered a setback after the judge told the prosecution he breached basic rules of fairness by failing to put directly to Lynn's allegations he'd aired earlier before the jury. We do have deer here, but they're not native to us. There's a few species which have formed a feral population. So, they had to believe that Lynn was guilty beyond reasonable doubt. There was a week of deliberation, and they returned the verdict before lunchtime. So, 6 weeks later, he was a convicted killer facing lengths and a stint behind bars. They don't know whether he's going to launch an appeal. So, yes, so he's found not guilty of one murder, but guilty of the other murder. So, yeah, it was a very interesting case because I would have thought, and my thing was that the two matters were linked, but I don't even know. Everything's poisonous here. Even the fairies. Oh, that's funny. It was 8 minutes something, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, 8 minutes 29, I think. We'll start from this. All right, this is, oh, yes. That's it, 8:31. Hang on. Yes, that was the email she sent to me. This one. Hang on. Where is it? Oh, I'm silly. I've got to stop sharing and then start sharing again. Hang on. Oh, yes, everything's poisonous here. I saw a comedian called Isaac Butterfield. A guy called a comedian called Isaac Butterfield gave out 10 reasons why you shouldn't visit Australia, and that was essentially the thing that he said. So this is it. This was an email. I received this email and I sent it to Nikki. Because I got it. It came from Nikki. Well, it says it came from Nikki, but I didn't believe that she had sent it. So I messaged her and said, hey, I don't believe that this is you, but this is what I got. But funnily enough, that email address doesn't work.
Because it was actually sent to someone else.
That one? That was also one that I was sent?
Apparently on my behalf. Yeah, more fucking threats. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. I don't want to show or read the rest of it because I don't have permission. Even though it's about me and it's apparently.
And I have given her permission. So I did give her permission to share them, but yes. She does have my permission to share them because I shared them on my stream last night. Hello, Ginger. How are you? Oh, sorry. All right. Australian Geographic. Yeah, I still do. Yes, I need to update it. I need to go in and update it. But yes, I still do have a store. Yeah, I still do. But that email doesn't work. I need to get that email working, but it's not high on my list of priorities at the moment. Here we go. The top 30 Australian most dangerous animals. Are we ready? The box jellyfish. Yes, the ocean. The box jellyfish. So you have to be careful when you walk along the beach. The honeybee. I don't know what that is, but that looks like another type of jellyfish. It's another type of jellyfish. The bull shark, the brown snake, or the man-o'-war jellyfish. Oh, see, I've heard of that. I hadn't heard of the other name. The brown snake. If Peter was here, she'd tell you you don't go swimming in creeks in Northern Territory or up north in the northern part of Australia. The saltwater crocodile. They're bigger than alligators, by the way. Funnel-web spider. The blue-ringed octopus. The coastal taipan. Common death adder. Cone shells. I swear it is the ocean. I don't like the beach. Hello, Ruth. The dewlight or the spotted brown snake, that is actually more dangerous than the brown snake, dewlight. So far, 2 of those are in my paddock. But the snakes, the mulga snake, the red belly black snake. We like snakes, not really. Tiger shark. Tiger snake. The great white shark. That's where Greg Norman got his nickname from, the great white shark. The yellow-bellied sea snake. The blue bottle. I have to say, I don't think I've seen many of them, though. I've seen brown snakes, but common lionfish. Collet snake. For me, they don't bother you. Highland copperhead. I've seen brown snakes, but I just, yeah. Inland taipan. Seen a few of these. The redback spider. The reef stonefish. I've never seen one of those. Smooth toadfish. The blue belly snake. Yeah, the rattlesnake in wow. The tick, paralysis tick. The bull ant. I know somebody that had an anaphylactic shock by the bull ant. Giant centipede. Oh, there's a few missing. There's a couple more that I would have said. The cane toad's not there. Well, see, interestingly enough, the brown snake is actually protected in Australia, and you're not allowed to kill them technically. And I say technically because if it was a matter of life and death, I think you should be able to. So there's our cane toads. Don't you think it looks like toad? Actually, there was a song. There was a song. Oh, I'm going to play you a song. It was written by Sam Newman. It's funny. You know where I'm going. Does anyone know where I'm going with this one? This is, see, we like to make fun of ourselves. No, it's not working.
Is my
That we needed to go to the toilet at her place, she'd always say, she'd always say to me, make sure you check for the redback. And so we grew up listening to that song. I grew up with that song about learning about the redback in the toilet seat. No, that was Slim Newton, actually. Slim Newton, a different Slim. But yes, different Slim. No, it's great. I mean, as Sharon said before, I mean, you've got lots of issues with guns. I mean, yeah. So it does. Yeah. It's a we have country song. It's called country song. Like Slim Dusty did Pub with No Beer. Cool. It had an outhouse, yeah. They used to, yeah. I mean, that was very common, outhouses or yellow SD. But anyway, I thought I would just give you that little song. I don't think they wrote anything else about other little dangerous, but anyway. But see, there's also a white-tailed spider as well that has a bit of a bite, but it doesn't. You know, you'll get swollen, but it's not it's not poisonous. So, anyway, I'm going to head off. I've been online for nearly 2 hours, and what's the time? Probably should go to bed. Been bitten by them, and I landed in hospital. They call necrosis. Yes, they can do, can't they? Whitetails, yeah, but they're not necessarily poisonous. You can. There's other effects that you can have. I have to say, I worked in a place when I worked in a gymnastics centre, and it was on like 5 acres of bush, and the gym was down the bottom of the hill, and to walk up the hill to where we parked our cars because they lived up the top of the hill. And I remember walking. I had to go move my car, and I remember walking, and I saw this brown snake, and he was double his size. He was about that big, and what I'd realised, he'd actually eaten another creature. And so he was actually having just eaten another animal, whatever it was. I don't know what it was. He was sort of comatose. And I actually had to walk past this snake to go get my car. And as I was bringing my car down, it went and attacked my car, but up like I'd walked past it fine. Anyway, I went and said, hey, there's a thing in brown snake. And so the owner of the property went up and checked and said, I've taken care of the brown snake. However, it is protected. But because this is a gymnastics centre with children. We need to put the children first. So that's how he justified it. This it feels really itchy the more you scratch, the more it spreads. Yes, I've heard that. I've heard that it's yeah. Ugh. So anyway, I'm going to head off now. So thank you for tonight. Yes, so as I said, it was a quiet day, but she's Katie Joy is just still accusing everybody. But we had a very quiet day as far as 7M was concerned. It was a 7M free day. You terrified of the spider? Look, depending on where you live, depends on the likelihood of you seeing any of those creatures. The most common one I see is a redback, but I just, get the spray out. Do it. Look, I haven't seen that many, but then, they will say there are certain conditions. So when the weather's warm, KJ scares me. Yeah, I'm more scared of KJ than I am of our 30 deadliest creatures. They'll always tell you to keep the grass short, that don't go through long bits of grass, keep the grass length short, and they'll tell you all these other things. So, you're an arachnophobic. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching. I don't know if I'll get on tomorrow night or whether I'll do a free day. I'll be back probably Sunday night. Monday, I've got a big day because that's cleaning the house, my daughter's house, to hand the keys back. She's moved into a new place now, but we've got to clean the old place and get the old place spick and span. Decide to do it ourselves rather than pay cleaners. But the way that I do it is I always take photos of what it looks like afterwards, and I send them. They get sent to the agent to show them what it looks like, because sometimes they'll try and tell you that you didn't clean it, but if you take photos of everything that you do, then there's no comeback. I've learnt the hard way, so there's always photos. Just like when I go into a place, if I see anything that is on the condition report, I'll take a photo of it, date it, file it, and then when I leave, again, I take a photo of that thing. Just, that's good. Yeah. So anyway, have a good weekend, and well, in fact, it's Friday over there. Tomorrow we Saturday. Unless something changes, just keep an eye on my community tab on my community post. If you need and anything that happens, do that. And I've got another plan with me to film, and I've got a couple of other things to film. So I'm hoping to put a lot of other stuff up there. That's not related to KJ and other fun stuff. And I hope you've been enjoying the podcasts as well. But anyway, I want to thank you all for joining me, and I have to say my junk spam has increased twofold since I've been getting those weird emails. But anyway, I'll just block them again. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Bye for now. Where is my thing? Let's see you later.